Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from the campus of Newton North High School in Newton, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the hosting Tigers of Newton North High School visiting Brookline High Warriors. Wi-Fi is a little shaky to start this game. I'm hoping it settles itself out. Not the brightest day out today here in Newton. We are considerably overcast, a little bit windy, and I've had some issues with Wi-Fi connectivity out in Newton before, so I'm hoping it stays strong. Or I'm hoping it steadies itself out by the time the game gets going. If it doesn't, then I am recording this, so I'll make the best. I'll post the fully recorded version if the ship doesn't right itself by the time we really get going. So, hopefully the technology doesn't abandon us, but particularly because this is Brookline versus Newton North. And those of you who have been following either school for however long you might have been, you must know by now what a strong rivalry these two schools have with each other. In any sport, really. Two schools so close together with such a long history of facing each other in numerous different sports. So this promises to be one heck of a game. So while we get ready for this one to get underway, we're slated for a 4:30 start. We got a question in the live chat from Donnell O'Neill asking for what Newton North's win-loss record is. So just give me a second while I look that up. According to their 2 wins coming against Newton South and Natick. They're actually on a 2-game win streak after starting the season 0-5, actually. So this is actually a 2-5 record, as they open the season with losses to BC High, Catholic Memorial, Framingham, Braintree, and Wellesley. Really got sent through the ringer to start the season, but coming on strong now with 2 back-to-back wins over Newton South and Natick. Folks, pardon me, while warm-ups are still going, I'm actually going to try and disconnect from the internet. I'm gonna stop the stream. It's gonna go black on you, but it's gonna come back, so nobody panic. I'm just gonna try and connect to a different Wi-Fi. So stay tuned on that. All right, looks like we got a stronger connection now. Thank you all for your patience with that one. So we should have a stronger connection at this point. I'll give lineups in a moment, but first I'm going to play the intro video from Newton North High School. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball. First pitch, and he laces it out to right. Harrison Siegel delivers. Runner taking off for second. It's a low skipping throw. Melton throws down, and they got him in time. Hits it. He wins it. Hugh Bollinger. Welcome to the Warriors. Brookline wins. Silly me, I forgot to turn the mic back on. There we go. Okay. As Newton North warms up to get us started in the top of the first inning, let's take a look at the lineups coming into today. We'll start with the Brookline High Warriors. They'll be the ones batting in the top of the first. Leading off for Brookline today, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting second, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Batting third, the right fielder, number 9, Elias Brendel. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 22, Charlie Engelman. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. Batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. And and not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 11, Nico Hart. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. And now let's give the starting lineup for the hosting Newton North High Tigers. Leading off for Newton North today, the center fielder, number 1, Dom Mayoka. Batting second, the first baseman, number 25, Danny Tambasia. Batting third, the second baseman, number 14, Luis Javier Hernandez. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 3, Adi Arian. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 15, Sam Perron. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 6, Ryan Huckabone. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 8, Owen Levine. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 11, Kyle Hurley. Batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 18, Spike Michelle. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Newton North today, number 21, Zagros Tanner. Head coach of the Newton North High baseball team is James Greeley. So those are our two lineups coming into today's contest. Interesting of note for Brookline is the return of number 7, James Dialchand Erickson, making the first appearance of his senior season. For those of you who have followed Brookline High baseball through the years, you know that last year James was one of the top pitchers in the rotation for Brookline, but suffered a season-ending injury midway through the season, and then tragedy followed tragedy for Dialchand Erickson as during preseason practices, that's what it was. It was a preseason scrimmage. He took a bad slide into second base, suffered another injury, and hasn't had the chance to play while he recovered until now, as they sort of slowly work him back into the lineup, first with just a batting role, no fielding, no pitching, just batting, and then see where it goes from there. But either way, so nice to see Dialchand Erickson back in the lineup after what a long career he has had. Dialchand Erickson and Engelman, actually the only two members of this senior class that saw varsity playing time in their freshman year all the way back in 2021. That was both my first year covering the team, Coach O'Connor's first year coaching the team, as his original first year was canceled due to COVID in 2020. And it was the last time that Brookline played postseason baseball because in 2021, due to the lack of schools that still had their spring season that year, every school made it to the playoffs just because of how chaotic that first, that COVID season was. Brookline now just 2 wins away from automatically clinching a playoff berth this year, as they stand at a record of 8-2, coming off a brutal loss on Monday against Wellesley. Lost that one in 5 innings, 16-0. That loss snapping a 7-game winning streak for the Warriors. So they really went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and now hoping to bounce back into the win column here against their longtime rivals. Another note in the live chat, I didn't get a chance to note before as I was juggling with the Wi-Fi earlier. From one of our regular viewers, Barbara Jo Metzger, go Brookline Warriors, from Grandma in Buffalo, New York. Happy as always to see you tuning in, Barbara. Hope you enjoy the game. And folks, if you do end up enjoying this live stream, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. I got nothing on the docket for tomorrow, other than maybe watching the first round of the NFL draft. But on Friday, I will be back in action covering Brookline High baseball again, as they will be traveling out to Dorchester to face the Dragons of Boston Latin Academy over at Garvey Park. That should be a fun one, and it will actually be the baseball broadcasting debut of my student broadcaster, Sam Lowenstein. Those of you who followed my winter broadcasts, you might have had a chance to hear Sam's voice working as a guest commentator. So that should make for some extra good fun. Have an extra person to commentate on the action on Friday. And if Brookline wins today, then that Friday game will give them their first chance to clinch an automatic playoff berth. And of course, if you or anyone you know is interested in getting some experience in sports broadcasting, just tell them to reach out to me. You can see my email in the bottom right corner of your screen. And if anyone's interested in joining me as a guest commentator, particularly any students who are interested in learning and gaining experience in the field of sports broadcast, just tell them to reach out. And then, of course, if you want to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams of high school sports action, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We've already had a few folks contribute in the live chat, but folks, if you have anything else you'd like to say, then I encourage you to contribute either in the live chat, or if you're not comfortable with the live chat, you can send me an email. Could be a message as simple as, go Brookline or go Newton North. We don't care who it is you're rooting for, as long as you're here to bring the good vibes and show support for these student athletes. Then it's all the same no matter who you're rooting for. If you want to give a specific shout out to a specific player, maybe you're tuning into this live stream to support a family member or a friend, or you see a player for your team make a really nice play and you want to give them a shout out, you can do so in the live chat. Maybe you want to let us know where you're tuning in from. We've already got Barbara tuning in from Buffalo, New York. So if there's sometimes we hear about folks tuning in from different states or even occasionally different countries, so that can be fun to hear. You can say that in the live chat again, or in email if you're not comfortable with the live chat. And on a more important side, if you notice any technical issues with the live stream, we had a little bit of an issue with the Wi-Fi earlier. That seems to have been fixed. But if you notice any problems either with the video of the stream or with my audio, then please leave a comment in the live chat or send me an email. You never know. It may be something that I don't notice on my end, and it might be something that's an easy fix. So never hurts to say something. Then, as particularly on the Newton North side, as this is my first time this year covering them, if you notice me flubbing the pronunciation of anyone's names, either first or last name, I encourage you to let me know in the live chat and correct me. I want to give these young men the best coverage they possibly can, and that goes for the student athletes on both sides of this contest. And to me, part of giving them quality coverage means getting their names right. But with all of that out of the way, it looks like pregame warm-ups are about finished. And we'll soon be kicking this one off. Brookline versus Newton North baseball here in Newton. The Tigers trying to extend their win streak to 3 as they try and claw their way back to 500, while the Warriors trying to set themselves up on the precipice of playoff qualifications. All right, here come the Tigers out onto the field. We see the starting pitcher, number 21, Zagros Tanner, taken to the hill. It's been a little while since the last time Brookline defeated Newton North, as Newton North swept them in their regular season series last year, including kind of a blowout win on Brookline's senior day game, if I'm recalling correctly. The year before, the two teams played twice, and one of them was very close. That was here at Newton North. Brookline took I think a one-run lead into the 7th, but then heavy rainfall started coming down in the bottom of the 7th, and Newton North took advantage and got the walk-off win in that one. And then I believe they won the other game in pretty convincing fashion. So here we go. Pre-inning warm-ups are done, and we're about to get this one going. Just meeting at the mound with Tanner and third baseman Sam Perron and his catcher Kyle Hurley. As he gets ready to take the hill here in the top of the 1st. All right, here we go. Leading off in the top of the 1st for Brookline, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch of the game catches the low corner for strike 1. You can see Sawada's season stats on the bottom of your screen. As a delayed swing hits a grounder up the third baseline, just foul. That was very, very close to staying fair up the third baseline, but ultimately bounces foul. 0-2 count to Sawada. Sawada with a batting average of .233, an on-base percentage of .410, a slugging percentage of .233, 2 steals, 4 runs scored, 3 RBI. And he hits a grounder past the pitcher up the middle. Second baseman bobbles it, and Sawada reaches. So a leadoff man on for the Warriors. That's a bit of a borderline call between an infield single and an E4. So I'm not confident enough to make a determination on that. I'm going to check Game Changer later tonight. For now, at the plate for Brookline is a pickoff attempt is thrown back to first. Sawada dives back safely. At the plate for Brookline now, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Brief timeout called. Siegel having a great season so far, leading Brookline in batting average, slugging percentage, hits, hit by pitches, steals, and runs scored. As he takes high ball 1. As you can see on the stats on the bottom of your screen, every stat for a player that has 1 star next to it is one where they lead the team in that stat. That was another check on Sawada. They know he is a speedy base runner. That's going to be high ball 2. Tanner focusing on high pitches, probably strategically, so that if Sawada does take off, it's a faster hop up for Hurley to try and make the throw down to second. 2-0, the count to Siegel. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. That one catches the high corner, strike 2. And a delayed swing pops it high, out to shallow center, and it's caught for out number 1. A can of corn for Dom Mayoka. And that's the first out of the inning. Now batting, the right fielder, number 9, Elias Brendel. Another throw back to first, and Sawada dives back again. Brendel coming into this game with a slash line of 250, 514, 333. One of just 2 players for Brookline who has multiple doubles on the season. As he takes strike 1 there. As you see, any stat on the bottom of your screen that has 2 stars next to it is one where the player is tied for the team lead. Brendel hits a grounder up the middle. Sawada slides in safely, and everyone reaches. The speed of Keenan Sawada prevents the fielder's choice. And so it'll be runners at first and second with 1 out. As now up comes the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. Pitcher turns off the rubber to check on Sawada at second. Paying Sawada a lot of mind, trying to limit what he can do with his legs. That one inside for ball 1. Hom so far this season with a slash line of 219, 324, 219, 4 steals, 5 runs, and 8 RBI. That one catches the high corner, strike 1. Caught him with the off speed there, strike 2. That one gets away from the catcher. The wild pitch brings Sawada to third and Brendel to second, and eliminates the potential of a ground out double play. And it's ball 2. Runners at second and third. Big opportunity for Hom here. 2-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big second out get for Tanner and the Tigers defense. And now with 2 down and runners at second and third, up comes the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. First pitch, high ball 1. Melton leading the Warriors in on-base percentage, walks, and RBI so far this season. He's got 9 RBI, has a prime opportunity here to bring in 1 or 2 more if he can get a base hit. Tanner takes a beat off the rubber and resets. That one misses low and away, ball 2. Hurley had to really move to snag that one. His job very important now. The runners have advanced once on a wild pitch already. If they advance again, it will result in the first run of the ball game. 2-0, the count to Melton. That one hits the zone, strike 1. That one catches the outside corner, strike 2. 2-2, 2 down, 2 runners in scoring position here in the top of the first. And Melton with a defensive swing fouls it off. High pressure situation already here in the top of the first inning. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 out. Tanner versus Melton to decide the fate of this inning. That one misses outside, ball 3. Full count, 2 outs, runners at second and third here in the top of the first. Melton hits a chopper through the third baseman's legs. Sawada is in. Brendel rounding third, headed for the plate. 2 runs are in for Brookline. Avery Melton with a hard-hitting grounder that zooms through the legs. Just took a high 1 hop and then rolled through the legs of the third baseman. 2 runs in for Brookline. Another call that's a bit borderline in terms of single versus error. But for now, it is a 2-0 lead. And now batting the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger, as he fouls off strike 1. Well, if that is counted as a base hit for Melton, that will make it now 11 RBI on the season for the Brookline catcher, as he now takes off for second. Or the courtesy runner takes off for second, as I believe that was strike 2 to Bollinger. I neglected to, as I was looking at the replay, I didn't see the courtesy runner came in for Melton. That's number 8, Ben Doctoroff, who just took second. I believe the count is 0-2 to Bollinger. And they say he went around on that one. And that'll be strike 3. But Brookline gets on the board. You know, might not have been the prettiest rally, but it got them runs, and that is the most important thing. As you had Sawada reaching on a grounder, slow grounder up the middle, stayed in the infield. But he legged it out for what is either an infield single or an E4, depending on how the scorekeepers scored it. Elias Brendel, 2 batters later, grounded into what could have been a fielder's choice at second, but again, the speed of Sawada allowed both runners to reach safely. A wild pitch got him to second and third, and then Melton hit a ground ball that went through the third baseman's legs. Again, borderline single or E5, depending on how they score it, but that did bring in Sawada and Brendel for the 2 runs. And so the Brookline starting pitcher, Nico Hart, stats shown here on the screen, will have a 2-run lead to work with right as he starts the game. Hart has had 3 previous pitching appearances, 2 of them starts. He's got a 1-0 pitching record with 12.2 innings to his name, an ERA of 4.97, a whip of 1.97, and a team-leading 17 strikeouts. And if there's been a few things that have been characteristic of Nico Hart's pitching outings so far for Brookline this season, they are categorized first by some early domination, as he tends to work through the first couple of innings very well, followed by some real pressure cooker later innings, followed by the coach a lot of times just deciding to leave him in to face those pressure cookers. And as a result, Hart, even though his ERA may not be the best, he has been quite the innings eater for the Brookline pitching staff so far this season. Pardon me as I just try and adjust my camera just a little bit. Didn't adjust it much, but anyway. First pitch at the bottom of the first is fouled off for strike 1. At the plate for Newton North is the center fielder, number 1, Dom Mayoka. That one is in there, strike 2. And that's strike 3. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. And Hart has a K to start the day. Now batting for Newton North, the first baseman, number 25, Danny Tambasia. And really, that's just kind of the overall theme for Hart as a pitcher so far this season, as that one misses just outside, is that Hart is kind of a fearless pitcher. You know, you see it with how many high-pressure innings they leave him in to finish, as that one misses high for ball 2. And a lot of times you also see, you know, some early batters that he just will, like, blaze 3 straight strikes past him. Not this time to Tambasia, as that one hits the zone for strike 1, makes it a 2-1 count. This one's a grounder over to second, taken off the hop by Sawada, thrown to first for out number 2. Sawada read that grounder well. Had he charged in on that one, it could have taken that bad hop up into his face, but he was playing a little further back, and so that just hopped right into his glove for an easy 4-3 ground out. This first pitch fouled off. Now batting for Newton North, the second baseman, number 14, Luis Javier Hernandez. That one misses low and away, ball 1. That one curves in nicely, strike 2. Hart displaying the breaking ball that time. That one's going to miss low, ball 2. Swing and a miss. Got him with the high heat. And Hart puts him down in order. Both starting pitchers get 2 strikeouts to start the day, but Brookline able to put a couple of runs on the board. At the end of 1, the score, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. We got a note in the live chat that I'm a little late to reference from another one of our regular viewers and commenters, Mary Walker. Go Warriors from Grandma in Groton, New York. I love that. I love that we got 2 viewers commenting in the live chat just simply referring to themselves as Grandma. It almost feels like they're not just the grandma of one specific player, but they're like the grandma of they're the grandmas of the Brookline High Warriors fan base, as it is. I don't know. That's just a fun way that I look at it. Going into the top of the second, it'll be the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Brookline: Engelman, Rosenblatt, and Dialchand Erickson. Leading off for Brookline, the third baseman, number 22, Charlie Engelman. First pitch from Tanner is in there for strike 1. Engelman so far this season 1 for 11 with a double, 2 walks, and 2 RBI. As he hits a hard one there, it goes through the legs of the shortstop into the outfield, and Engelman is going to reach. Another one that takes an initial high hop and then just kind of dies on the dirt and rolls through the legs of the infielder, sort of similar to what happened with Melton's 2-run hit last inning. And another pickoff attempt, that one a lot closer, but Engelman dives back safely. Now batting for Brookline, the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. Shows bunt, pulls back, it's in the zone for a strike, and the catcher tried for a pickoff, but Engelman dives back. Rosenblatt so far this season batting 3 for 10 with 4 walks, 2 runs, and 2 RBI. Another pickoff throw, and Engelman steps back. And another one, and again, Engelman steps back. Tanner giving a lot of attention to Charlie Engelman on first base. That pitch is just low for ball 1. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. Rosenblatt did not appear in Monday's game against Wellesley, so his last game was last Thursday, I believe it was, against Cambridge Ringe, as he takes an inside ball 2. And so his last plate appearance was when he got a 2-run single to the outfield against Cambridge. That triggered the mercy rule win for Brookline. They won that game 14-4. That was the last game of their win streak. That's a high ball 3. And it's now a full count to Rosenblatt. Swing and a miss. Rosenblatt goes down on strikes, 1 out. Now batting in his first at-bat of the season after coming back from injury, the designated hitter, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. First pitch going to miss, ball 1. You can see from the stats he had at the plate midway through last year before suffering his season-ending injury, not a player necessarily known for his bat, but still really nice to see him working his way back into a bigger spot in the Brookline lineup as he works his way back from injury. That one misses outside, ball 2. Swing and a miss there. 2-1 the count. Another throw back, and Engelman dives back. Like I said before, Dialchand Erickson and Engelman, the only members of this senior class that played as freshmen back in 2021. They were late season call-ups from the freshman team. And it is quite rare in this Brookline program that freshmen end up playing in their first varsity season. Hugh Bollinger, the only freshman on the varsity team this year. As Dialchand Erickson lifts that one up high, and it's going to be caught by Huckabone, the shortstop, for out number 2. And so we cycle back to the top of the order with the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Still another throw back to first, and again, Engelman dives back safe. That pitch going to be high for ball 1. Pardon me. That one hits the zone, strike 1. His last time up, Sawada reached on a slow grounder to the second baseman and then later came in to score. Tanner briefly steps off the rubber and resets. That one in the zone, strike 2. 1-2, the count to Sawada. Engelman at first, 2 down here in the top of the second. Engelman takes off and Sawada fouls it off. Stays alive at 1-2. Swing and a miss. Sawada goes down on strikes. Zagros Tanner has had 2 Ks in each of the first 2 innings. Brookline unable to add to their lead, but they do still hold the lead at 2-0. And it'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters for Newton North, Arian, Perron, and Huckabone. Due up in the bottom of the second. All right, leading off for the Tigers here in the bottom of the second. The right fielder, number 3, Adi Arian, hits a grounder off the first pitch, fielded by Sawada, thrown to first, and that'll be out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out to start the bottom of the second. Now batting the third baseman, number 15, Sam Perron. First one catches the low corner, strike 1. This one hit, and it is just foul. You could see Avery Melton trying to charge out from behind the plate to try and snag that one while it was still in fair territory. But ultimately called foul. Oh, and 2, the count to Perron. This one is lifted foul and out of play. And the count remains 0-2. That one outside, ball 1. Hits a grounder past Hart, over to Hom, fielded cleanly, thrown to first, and he's got out number 2. Well fielded by Hom at shortstop. That one looked like a reach-on error in the making. It was taking kind of a weird bounce. And it was, moving, kind of slow and up the middle, against a fast runner. That's an infield single potentially in the making. But Hom handled it well for out number 2. That first pitch going to miss just high, I believe, for ball 1. At the plate for Newton North is the shortstop, number 6, Ryan Huckabone. As he skies this one, it's being tracked and caught by Bollinger at the last second. My goodness, that one almost dangerous, but again, Hart able to put the Newton North batters down in order. Let's take a look at the replay of that one, just because that one was pretty fun. You see Engelman chasing it. Hom calls for it. Then Bollinger calls for it at the last second and catches it falling down. A, very wild play that's just going to end as, a 7 fly out to left field. on your typical scorebook. Just shows that stats don't always tell the whole story. You know, some very routine plays on paper that, when properly looked at on the tape, show to be not quite as routine as they appear. And Brookline gets the job done on all of them. As we move to the top of the third, it'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for Brookline. Siegel, Brendel, and Hom. Got another note in the live chat. Hello again from Bradenton, Florida. Another grandma grateful for your broadcast. Go Brookline. We got all the grandmas out here. I love it. Leading off for Brookline here in the top of the third, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. First pitch, and he does go around, so that will be strike one. Apologies, folks. I know it's a little tough to see as the bullpen is right near where I set up. No, nothing to be done about that. I believe that one missed outside, ball one. Swing and a miss there, strike two. Siegel, his last time up, he flew out to center. That one is going to miss and briefly get away from Hurley. Two and two now the count. Swing and a miss. Siegel goes down on strikes. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Tanner's been doing a good job getting strikeouts. That is his fifth through 2 1/3 innings pitched. Now batting for Brookline, the right fielder, number 9, Elias Brendel. First pitch hits the zone, strike one. You know, one thing you got to give both pitchers today credit for through these first couple of innings, they've not been afraid to throw strikes. That one's going to miss, ball one. I mean, there hasn't been a single walk for either team so far. Brendel hits one foul up the first base line. Strike two. One and two, the count. And that one's high for ball two. And he skies this one foul and out of play. Oh, boy. Something caught in my throat there for a second. My apologies. Brendel lifts this one out to shallow left center. And it's tracked out in left field for out number two. well tracked by Owen Levine. Now batting the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. First one in the dirt, ball one. Hom went down on strikes his last time up. That one gonna miss as well, ball two. That one catches the corner, strike one. Fouls it off, strike two. 2-2, now the count to Hom. And he fouls it off again. Two and two, the count with two down and the base is empty here in the top of the third. And that one's a high ball three. Swing and a miss. Again, these pitchers are not afraid to throw strikes. And for the third straight inning, Zagros Tanner comes away with two strikeouts. He's now got 6 on the day, but his team still trails as we move to the bottom of the third. It will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Tigers, Levine, Hurley, and Michelle. And we've got a Newton North fan showing support in the live chat. Vikram Aryan saying, "Go Tigers," I assume a relation to Newton North's right fielder, number 3, Adi Aryan. And Vikram, let me know if I'm messing up the pronunciation of that last name. Like I said before the game, I want to, give these young men the best coverage I possibly can, and to me, part of that means getting their names right. So if I'm getting it right, let me know. And if I'm messing it up, just let me know what the correct pronunciation is. Some wind whipping through here now, and what feels like potentially a few raindrops. There was some rain a little bit earlier today as I was driving here to the field. One of the nice things about covering a game here at Newton North is that I am underneath a roof here in the parking lot, but if the wind starts whipping and blowing raindrops over, it could still hit my equipment. Owen Levine skies this one. Looks like it's going to stay playable, and Rosenblatt has got it for out number 1 as the left fielder, number 8, Owen Levine, pops out for the first out of the inning. Now batting the catcher, number 11, Kyle Hurley. Shows bunt, but pulls it back as it's a high ball 1. Whoa, some heavy gusts of wind blowing out here in Newton. As I'm just holding on to all my equipment, making sure it doesn't blow over. That one is strike 1 to Hurley. That one hits the zone as well, strike 2. 1-2, the count to Hurley. And Hurley checks his swing on that one, high ball 2. And a brief timeout was called. I mean, you can see just from the sand or being whipped up, or the dirt being whipped up from the infield, as Hurley checks again for ball 3, that the wind really starting to blow out here. And Hurley fouls that one. Stays alive with a full count. And he hits a dribbler up the third base side, picked up by Engelman. Throw to first in time for out number 2. Brookline infield been doing quite a good job so far at handling the ground balls coming their way. Now with 2 down and the base empty here in the bottom of the third, up comes the designated hitter, number 18, Spike Michelle. First pitch in there, strike 1. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. That's a high ball 1. Rain really starting to come down now, as that one also misses ball 2. Hart very close to getting out of this inning as the rain is picking up. Swing and a miss. Caught him chasing low. Strike 3. We are through 3 here in Newton, as the precipitation has arrived. But Nico Hart unfazed through 3 innings. At the end of 3, the score, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. 3 straight 1, 2, 3 innings for Nico Hart as we move to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up. Melton, Bollinger, and Engelman. And we've actually got a relief pitcher out on the hill for Newton North. That is number 5, Thomas McCarthy. So McCarthy takes over for Zagros Tanner. Tanner was really effective through those first 3 innings. You take away that one hit by Melton, And he'd have 3 shutout innings under his belt. But with the team trailing, they go to the pen. And the first pitch is high for ball 1 as batting for Brookline is the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. And he hits one. It's a grounder up the middle. Avery Melton with a leadoff single. And as the rain continues to fall and the wind continues to whip, the goal for Brookline as the team in the lead is at least get 4 innings done to potentially just make this an official game should the rain cause it to be stopped. Hugh Bollinger pops up a bunt, and it lands foul, almost disastrous for Brookline there as the attempted sac bunt came out a little too high that time. At the plate is the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. That one skips away from the catcher, and Melton going to take second on the wild pitch. And McCarthy turns around to check on Melton, but does not throw. 1-1 is the count to Bollinger. Looks like a few frames got dropped there, possibly due to the weather, as I think that one missed for ball 2. Here's hoping the connection remains strong despite the weather. That one hits the zone, strike 2. 2-2, the count to Bollinger. Bollinger, a check swing grounder, fielded by McCarthy, thrown to first, but Bollinger effectively laying down a sac bunt there as he moves Melton to third with 1 out. That won't go down as a sac bunt, as it wouldn't have counted as a bunt if he had fouled it off. It wouldn't have been a strikeout. But still, an effective ground out from Bollinger. Now batting the third baseman, number 22, Charlie Engelman, who takes ball 1. Engelman reached on what I think was an E6, but might have gone down as a single his last time up as he swings and misses at that one for strike 1. Engelman hoping he can have a chance to bring in Melton from third. But he takes strike 2 there. It's a 1-2 count. Engelman hoping he can add to Brookline's 2-0 lead, perhaps make it 3-0 if he can score Melton's courtesy runner, Doctoroff. But he takes strike 3. Big strikeout for McCarthy as that holds the runner, but now up the first baseman, number 16, Adam Rosenblatt. First pitch, he skies it out to left. Levine calls for it, and he's got it for out number 3. So the Warriors threaten but cannot score in the top of the 4th. We move to the bottom of the 4th with the score still a very close 2-0. Nico Hart back on the hill for Brookline as we start his second turn through the Newton North batting order. He's had 3 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. But now all these batters have seen him once before And we'll see what the top of the order is able to do as Mayoka, Tambasia, and Hernandez are due up. Leading off for Newton North in the bottom of the fourth, the center fielder, number 1, Dom Mayoka, as he takes strike one. Mayoka went down on strikes his last time up, as he takes high ball 1. And that's a high ball 2. This one blooped and caught. Felix Hom displays the glove there for out number 1. Now batting the first baseman, number 25, Danny Tambasia. Tambasia, his last time up, grounded out to second. Takes ball 1 to start. Brookline showing some strong performances from their infielders who had such a rough outing against Wellesley on Monday. So there were 5 separate reach-on errors, 4 of them errors in the infield. That contributed to the Wellesley offensive explosion. That one gonna miss, and it's 3-0, the count to Hart. That one misses, ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk, and the Tigers get their first base runner of the day. The game no longer perfect for Nico Hart, as now coming up, the second baseman, number 14, Luis Javier Hernandez. Hernandez went down on strikes his last time up. Runner is taking off for second. Melton throwing down to second, and they got him. Great throw by Melton. Great tag by Sawada. And just like that, 2 down in the inning. I think the pitch itself was a ball. I'm not sure. Swing and a miss there. Oh, and actually the first pitch was a strike, as I just checked out the scoreboard. 0-2, the count to Hernandez. Lifts that one foul and out of play, stays alive at 0-2. That one misses, ball 1. That one's going to miss as well, ball 2. 2-2, the count to Hernandez. 2 down, base empty here in the bottom of the fourth. Swing and a miss, fooled him with the breaking ball. And another strong inning for Nico Hart, as we are through 4 here in Newton. The score, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. As we move to the top of the 5th, McCarthy returns to the mound for a second inning of relief work for the Tigers. And he'll be facing the 9-1-2 hitters for Brookline, Dialchand, Erickson, Sawada, and Siegel. Now leading off for the Warriors in the top of the 5th, the designated hitter, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. First pitch, he skies it into foul territory. That's going to go out of play for strike 1. His last time up, Dialchand Erickson popped out to the shortstop. That one catches the corner, strike 2. And he lifts this one high and deep out to right. Right fielder back, and he's got it. Adi Arian with the catch for out number 1. Dialchand Erickson gave it a ride, but not far enough and not fast enough, as that'll simply be out number 1. Back to the top of the order now with the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First pitch, and he lines one out to left center. That'll drop in safely for a 1-out single for Sawada. Runner on first now, 1 out. Up comes the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel 0 for 2 so far today with a fly out to center and a strikeout as they briefly check on Sawada at first. That pitch gonna miss, ball 1. And Siegel fouls that one off for strike 1. That one misses high, ball 2. And another throw back to first, check on Sawada, and again he gets back safe. And that one way high, fielded well by Hurley to prevent the wild pitch. It'll simply be ball 3. And Siegel rips one out to left. That's another base hit. Cut off by Levine to prevent the extra base hit. It'll simply be a single for Harrison Siegel. Brookline starting to string some hits together. They now have runners at first and second with one down. And up comes the right fielder, number 9, Elias Brendel. So they briefly go to check on it. First pitch is high for ball 1. Brendel reached on a weird fielder's choice his last time up and later came in to score. Flew out to left his last time up. Now hoping he can move his teammates along the base paths. And he rips one out to right. Jumping catch made by Arian, and he rifles it back into the infield as the runners are forced to hold. Big catch made by Adi Arian for a big second out get. Now up the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch in there, strike 1. Hom 0 for 2 so far today with 2 strikeouts as he takes ball 1 there. That one comes in high, ball 2. That one's a high, ball 3, and a throw back to first. Tambasia wasn't even at the bag, but still got Siegel to retreat. 3-1, the count to Hom. And Hom lifts it high out to center field, but Mayoka is under it, and that will end the inning. Again, Brookline gets a couple runners on, but cannot score. We move to the bottom of the 5th. The score still 2-0. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So during this break, in the middle of the 5th inning, I'd like to take a moment to direct your attention to a helpful link in the description section of this video. At the top of the description section, you can see a link where you can donate to the At Bat for Brookline Booster Club if you would like to support Brookline High Baseball financially. So be sure to check that out in the description section down below. As we move to the bottom of the 5th, it'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up, Arian, Perron, and Huckabone. Arian, one of the big defensive heroes for Newton North in the top half of that 5th inning, as he made a couple of nice catches out in right field. One, a jumping grab on that liner by Elias Brendel that helped hold the runners and prevent them from advancing. And now he comes to the plate, the right fielder, number 3, Adi Arian, and he takes ball 1. Arian, his last time up, grounded out to second. That one's inside, ball 2. The rain appears to have let up a bit. You know, a bit hard for me to tell under the roof of the parking lot. Ooh, that hits the end of the bat. That's going to be a foul ball for strike 1. That one catches the inside corner for strike two. 2-2. Now the count to Arian. That one just misses, ball three. Oh, that hits him. Hart lost control of that one, and Arian will reach on a hit by pitch. Those wet conditions will get you. Even if the rain lets up, it's not like the ball automatically dries off when that happens. And that's especially tough for Brookline. They thought they had strike three when instead they had ball three, and then the next pitch hits the batter. This pitch is outside for ball one. At the plate for the Tigers is the third baseman, number 15, Sam Perron. Perron, his last time up, grounded out to short. That one's going to miss, ball two. Hart steps off the rubber and resets. That one is in there for strike one. Runners taking off. This one lifted out to left. Caught by Hugh Bollinger out and left for out number one. Good contact by Perron, but just right to the area of the outfielder. And that is out number one. Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Ryan Huckabone. Huckabone, his last time up, he flew out to left. That was that weird flyout that 3 different people called before Bollinger ultimately caught it. Takes ball one there. That one hits for strike one. Huckabone, a funny little coincidence in the lineup card today. He is wearing number 6. He's batting 6th in Newton North's batting order, and he's playing position number 6 at shortstop. You know, little things that I find amusing. Shows bunt, lays it down, and it's foul. One and two, now the count to Huckabone as he tried to sneak a bunt in there. That's a high ball, too. And this one lifted high out to right. Brendel under it. And he's got the catch for out number 2. Two down with a runner at first. And now up the left fielder, number 8, Owen Levine. Levine, his last time up, he popped out to first. Throw back to first, but Arian dives back safely. Runner is taking off, but the pitch is fouled off for strike one. The second time they've tried to have Arian take off on a potential hit and run, and the second time that's resulted in a foul ball. That one hits the zone for strike two. That one just misses, ball one. 1-2, the count to Levine. And he fouls that one off, stays alive at 1-2. Runner taking off, and it's fouled off again. And again, Arian forced to go back to first. But Levine stays alive at 1-2. That's a high ball, too. 2-2, the count to Levine. Runner at first, 2 down. And this one fouled off again. Levine refusing to go down as he still stays alive with 2 strikes. And that one misses inside, ball 3. Levine has battled his way back to a full count. And lifts this one foul, and that's going to go out of play again. Levine not going down on strikes, but also not putting the ball in play, just keeping this at-bat going longer and longer. Count still full. Missed it, ball 4. Levine with an incredible fight to draw the free pass, as that free pass was really anything but free. He had to put in work for that one. It'll be runners at first and second with 2 down, as up comes the catcher, number 11, Kyle Hurley. Hurley, his last time up, he grounded out to third. Now batting with the potential tying run at first. Pick off at second. Oh, they got him! Brookline didn't even have to throw a pitch to Hurley. Nico Hart with the pickoff move at second to end the inning and escape the jam just as they got into it. We are through 5 here in Newton. The Tigers still hitless through 5, but still very much within striking distance of Brookline. The score, Brookline 2, Newton North 0. At this time, between the 5th and 6th innings, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about the Brookline Education Foundation. The Brookline Education Foundation raises funds to help promote growth and innovation among Brookline educators, growth that can then be passed on to the children of this community. For over 40 years, this foundation has given out a variety of grants across the educational landscape, such as Ideal Lab grants for teachers that want to present their students with new and exciting projects, and teacher grants for educators that want to further develop their own skills to bring to the classroom. Many initiatives which have become staples in the public schools of Brookline started as BEF grants. They support literacy education training, new methods in STEM education, project-based learning, mentoring of new principals and superintendents, and collaborative work around diversity, equity, and inclusion, just to name a few. Visit brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846 to find out how you can help support our town's educators and, through them, our students. Once again, brooklinefoundation.org or call 617-232-3846. And that information is also in the description section down below. So it'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for Brookline, leading off the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. That first one hits the zone, strike one. That one curves in as well, strike two. Melton has reached base each of the last 2 times he's been up, but now staring down an 0-2 count. That one misses, ball 1. Thomas McCarthy in his 3rd inning of relief here in the 6th. And that one just misses, ball 2. And that's a high, ball 3. Melton goes from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count. And Melton lifts this one now out to right. Arian has got it for out number 1. So 1 down, and now up comes the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. That first one comes in low, ball 1. Bollinger 0 for 2 so far today. Struck out and grounded out as takes ball 2 there. That one catches the corner, strike 1. That one high for ball 3. 3-1, the count to Bollinger. That one catches the zone, strike 2. A full count now to Bollinger. And he hits a grounder up the middle, gets past the shortstop into center field as Bollinger gets what I believe will be scored as a single, but might be scored as an E6. depending on what the scorekeeper decides. Now batting, the third baseman, number 22, Charlie Engelman, as Engelman takes strike one. Engelman so far today, he's reached on what I believe was an E6, might have been scored a single, not sure, and gone down on strikes. As he takes strike two there. 0-2 the count, one out, Bollinger at first. And manages to get a piece of that one. Was still very much out in front of the pitch. As the off-speed pitches are definitely throwing him off his rhythm. But he stays alive at 0-2. That one's going to miss outside, ball one. Runner taking off, pitches low, and Bollinger successfully steals second. Two and two. McCarthy turns around briefly to check on Bollinger, but does not throw. And Engelman lifts one high and deep to left. Levine going back. It's over the wall! Charlie Engelman sends it out of here! The senior co-captain sends it over the left field fence for a two-run homer to left. Unbelievable. This is my fourth year covering Brookline High baseball. That's the first home run I've seen. What a day, what a hit for Charlie Engelman. Brookline doubles up their lead at 4-0, and we've got a pinch hitter now for the Warriors. Now batting in place of Adam Rosenblatt is number 23, Jonathan Mazzara. One out and the base is empty. And that one's going to miss for ball one. That one misses as well, ball two. That one misses as well, ball three. Mazzara with a 3-0 count. That one hits the zone for strike one. Mazzara has had 16 plate appearances for Brookline so far this season, has not drawn a walk yet, but now he has not. That one, strike two. Hits a hard grounder through the gap in left, and that'll be a single for Jonathan Mazzara. So another runner on base now as coach comes out to talk to McCarthy. Might be wondering if maybe the reliever got a little shaken up after giving up a home run. I mean, any pitcher, that can be hard to recover from at the high school level just because of how rare home runs are at this level. But they are going to stick with McCarthy. Hope that he's settled himself down. And now batting for Brookline, the designated hitter, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. They check on Mazzara at first. Dialchand Erickson 0 for 2 so far today. He's popped out to short, flown out to right. That one in there, strike one. And he hits a grounder, fielded at the short, flipped second for one, on to first, and in time for the 6-4-3 double play. That ends the top of the 6th, but an explosive inning for the Warriors, thanks to Charlie Engelman hitting this bomb over the left field fence. I'm still just absolutely blown away because, like I said, this is the first time I've seen a Warriors batter put one over the fence, and this is my 4th year covering the team, so that's absolutely phenomenal. And another man who's been phenomenal so far today is Nico Hart on the mound as he comes out for his 6th inning of work. He'll be facing the 9-1-2 hitters, Michelle Mayoka and Tambasia. Now, the last time we saw a Brookline pitcher take a potential no-hitter this far into the game, it was Charlie Engelman against Needham a couple weeks back. And, of course, that no-hitter got blown up pretty much immediately in the 6th inning. And Needham ended up scoring a couple of runs as well. We'll see how Hart fares here in the 6th. Brookline has doubled up their lead, which gives them more of a cushion. Defensively, it seems like they've sent Rosenblatt back to first base, so Mazzara just a one-time pitch hitter that is allowed at the high school level. First pitch to Hurley, that's right. I'm dumb. I forgot that last inning ended on a pickoff. And so Hurley gets to come back up and finish his plate appearance. Oh, and he's hit. A second hit by pitch for Nico Hart. And Hurley trots down to first. Hart was starting to lose some of the control on his pitches at the end of the fifth. Well, actually through the fifth, as he gave up a leadoff hit by pitch in the fifth inning and then later issued a 2-out walk. Now he issues another leadoff hit by pitch for the second inning in a row. We're going to have a courtesy runner come in for Newton North. That's number 22, Drew Boucher, coming in to run as a courtesy runner for the catcher, Hurley. And now this first pitch to Spike Michelle is low for ball one. That pitch hits the zone, strike one. Michelle, his last time up, went down on strikes. Throw back to first, close, but Boucher dives back safely. That one comes in low for ball two. 2-1, the count to Michelle. Another pickoff throw, and again, Boucher gets back safe. You can see some more action going in the Newton North bullpen as Michelle fouls this one off his foot, and it is called foul. 2-2 the count. Two and two. Hart looks over at Boucher at first. Now sets. Misses outside, ball three. Catches him chasing it, strike three. Fools him with the breaking ball to the outside again. And that's the first out of the inning. Now back to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 1, Dom Mayoka. Brief timeout called. First pitch gonna miss, ball one. Fouls this one off, strike one. Mayoka so far today, he's gone down on strikes and popped out to short. Now facing a 1-1 count. And that makes it a 2-1 count. Another pickoff attempt, and again, Boucher gets back safely. This one popped high, gonna stay playable, looks like. And Engelman's got it for out number 2. Two down, runner at first. Now batting, the first baseman, number 25, Danny Tambasia. First pitch catches the inside corner, strike 1. Tambasia, so far today, he has walked and grounded out to second. When he walked, he was caught stealing second. Takes high ball 1 there. Tambasia was actually the first Newton North batter to reach base with that walk that ended what was at the time a potential perfect game for Hart. As that one skips in the dirt, well covered by Melton to simply make it ball 2 and not allow Boucher to advance on a potential wild pitch. That one is high for ball 3. Melton steps out briefly to talk to Hart. Now resets 3-1, the count to Tambasia. That catches the inside corner, strike 2. So full count and 2 outs to Tambasia with a runner at first. And hits a hard grounder foul up the first base line, stays alive with a full count. We saw Owen Levine last inning battle his way to a walk after fouling off several times to stay alive. What will happen with Tambasia here as he fouls off again? The battle continues between Hart and Tambasia. Count still full, 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner at first. Brookline leads 4-0. Runner takes off, and it hits him. It hits Tambasia in the feet. A third hit by pitch for Nico Hart. As that puts runners at first and second, both of them reaching via hit by pitch. And now I think we might actually have a pinch hitter. Yes, we do have a pinch hitter. Number 17, Thomas Schwartz, batting in place of Luis Javier Hernandez. First pitch is a high ball 1. That one's going to miss as well for ball 2. And head coach Brendan O'Connor coming out to talk to his pitcher as he's might be trying to settle him down as he works to get back in the zone. In the meantime, a note in the live chat from Larry Melton from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We join Avery Melton's other grandparents. Larry Melton, I watch all your games. Thank you. Go Warriors. Happy to see you tuning in, Larry. Hope you've been enjoying the game. It's been a thriller so far. Right now, 2-0 the count to Schwartz. 2 down, runners at first and second. That one's going to miss. They're going to try and pick off at second, and they can't get him. Brookline tried to escape the jam with a nifty pickoff move again. Didn't work that time. That one hits the zone, strike one. A 3-1 count to Schwartz. Fouls that one off, strike two. So this time Hart battles back to a full count. Full count, 2 down, runners at first and second here in the bottom of the sixth. Catches the low corner, strike three. The no-hitter survives a turbulent sixth inning. And we move forward to the seventh and final inning with the score still Brookline 4, Newton North 0. All right, we move to the seventh and final inning. We've got another relief pitcher on the mound for Newton North, and this is Ryan Huckabone, the starting shortstop, taking over on the mound as they move Hernandez from second to short. I'm not quite sure who they put at second. I'm trying to catch jersey number. Looks to be number 24. So Huckabone takes over for McCarthy. As number 24, Matias Avellino, takes over at second. With Brookline hoping to add potentially to their lead, it will be the 1, 2, 3 hitters, Sawada, Siegel, and Brendel, facing down Newton North's new pitcher. First pitch now to Sawada is going to be ball one. Sawada got the scoring started back in the first. And I believe he got a single his last time up, but got stranded. As that one inside for ball two. That one catches the high end of the zone, strike one. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And that one is fouled off, and Sawada stays alive with a 2-2 count. That one misses outside, ball 3. A full count now to Sawada. That one inside, almost hit him, but did not. That's just going to be a walk. And Sawada trots down to first. Sawada reaches base for the 3rd time today in 4 plate appearances. And now looks like Kyle Hurley might be experiencing a problem with his catcher's mitt. As preparing to come to the plate for Brookline is the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. And now they're just testing out the glove, making sure it feels good. And now Siegel steps into the box. First pitch catches the low corner, strike 1. That one's low, gets away from the catcher, and Sawada speeds out to second. So Sawada now in scoring position with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. As again, they're gonna, this time Huckabone's asking for a new ball. 1-1, the count to Siegel. That one catches the zone, strike 2. And Siegel fouls that one out of play, stays alive at 1-2. Sawada taking off for third, and Siegel hits it through the right gap. Sawada got a score on the hit and run, and Siegel is racing down to second. What is he doing? Slides in, and he's out. Siegel thought he could sneak past the runners, or past the fielders, that is, and almost slid in. Safe at second. He almost snuck past them, but not quite. He does, however, collect the RBI single as he brings in Sawada on the hit and run play. Brookline extends their lead to 5. And now batting the right fielder, number 9, Elias Brendel. And that one hits him in the foot, and he trots down to first. For some reason, the scoreboard is showing 2 outs and a 4-0 game when it should be 1 out and a 5-0 game. I mean, unless I've gone crazy and just missed something. But either way, stepping up to the plate is the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. And it's now corrected to 1 out. Just needs to add 1 more run on that scoreboard. First pitch to Hom is in there, strike 1, and now the scoreboard out here is good. You know what? Scoreboard operators are human just like the rest of us. No harm, no foul. And taking off for second is Brendel, but Hom fouls it off for strike 2. Hom 0 for 3 so far today. He's struck out twice and flown out to center. And he fouls that one off and stays alive still. And Huckabone steps off the bag to check on Brendel as Brendel was dancing off the bag. Now resets on the mound. Brendel takes off for second. And that one, I believe, was in there for strike 3. Hom goes down looking, but Brendel does steal second. So 2 down, and up comes the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. And that one gets away from the catcher, but Brendel got a bad jump. He would have made it as the throw sails into left field, but when you get a bad jump, it's usually just better to retreat back to the bag. It'll simply be a 1-0 count to Melton. Melton had that big 2-run hit back in the first inning. He had another single, but his last time up flew out to right. And Huckabone again steps off the mound to check on Brendel. He darts back to second. Swing and a miss there, strike 1. And Melton hits one over to second, juggled, picked up, thrown to first in time for out number 3. So Avellino manages to recover and not commit the error as the substitute second baseman. But now we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. Brookline adds 1 to their lead. And now the question, can they finish the job? And the extra credit question, can Nico Hart perhaps complete a no-hitter? He's still 3 long outs away from that result. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Tigers, Arian, Perron, and Huckabone. We got a note from a former Brookline High parent, David Martell. The Warriors are gritty. Let's close this out. Happy to see you tuning in, Dave. Hope you've been enjoying this game. It's been a wild one, and we'll see what the last half inning has in store. Leading off in the bottom of the 7th for Newton North, the right fielder, number 3, Adi Arian. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Arian, his last time up, he was hit by a pitch, got picked off at second as he takes ball 2. Hart's control of the strike zone has been slipping the last couple of innings. But that time he hits the zone, strike 1. And this one hit foul up the third base side, strike 2. Two and two, the count to Arian. Swing and a miss. He got him with the off speed. One down here in the bottom of the 7th. Now batting the third baseman, number 15, Sam Perron. First pitch curves in, strike 1. That pitch high, ball 1. And Perron not fooled on that off-speed pitch. Drops below the zone, ball 2. That one high for ball 3. And this one skied in foul territory. Rosenblatt stumbled a bit, chasing it, and it's just over the fence out of play. So a full count now to Perron. This one hit, caught by Sawada, out number 2. That one looked like it might have broken it, but it did not. 2 down. Hart is 1 out away from a potential no-hitter. Now batting the pitcher, number 6, Ryan Huckabone. First pitch is low for ball 1. That's high as well, ball 2. That's the thing about baseball, you've got to get that last out. That one hits the zone, strike 1. This one lifted, and that's going to be foul down the left field side. Strike two. With a 2-2 count to Huckabone, Nico Hart is one strike away from a no-hitter. Warriors fans, hold your breath for this one. That one is high, ball 3. Full count, 2 outs. The score may not be close, but Hart is close to something special. And this one is lifted foul again. Hits the roof of the parking lot, and Huckabone stays alive with a full count. And he tips it again, sends it to the backstop, still alive at 3-2. Huckabone has fouled off 3 of the last 4 pitches, 2 of them with 2 strikes. Staying alive here at the very end. Catches the zone! Strike 3! He's done it! Nico Hart completes the no-hitter! What an unbelievable outing. Nico Hart holds the Tigers hitless for all 7 innings as we take a look at the replay of that last pitch. As he went for the curveball and just caught the low corner. Incredible. What a day for the Warriors as they claim win number 9. It was a day full of firsts for Brookline. The first day back in the lineup for James Dialchand Erickson after suffering an injury in the preseason. The first home run from the Warriors, at the very least since I've been covering them, with Charlie Engelman's 2-run blast to left. And the first no-hitter in who knows how long. Such a special performance from Nico Hart. What a day for the class of 2024. Your final score here in Newton. The Brookline High Warriors, 5. The Newton North High Tigers, 0. And I see in the live chat some folks celebrating. David Martell saying, great play, Keenan. And then celebrating Nico Hart as he got all 21 outs he needed. And while he did have some brief troubles with his control, gave up, I think, 2 walks and 3 hit by pitches, he gave up 0 base hits for the no-hitter. And now, as one additional note, with 9 wins on the season, Brookline now stands just 1 win away from an automatic playoff berth. So plenty of reason to get excited if you're a Brookline High Warriors baseball fan after this one. Well, I'm going to recap the action in a second. First, I want to count up how many strikeouts Hart had throughout this day. He had 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 6th, so that's 4. None in the 5th, 1 in the 4th, so that's 5. 1 in the 3rd, so that's 6. none in the second, and 2 in the first. So 8 strikeouts for Nico Hart. Although obviously the more impressive number is the 0 that goes in the hit column for that one. But before I recap the action, just a quick note. If you enjoyed this live stream, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. I'll be back covering Brookline High baseball again on Friday as they travel out to Garvey Park in Dorchester to take on the Boston Latin Academy Dragons, as they are going to take their first stab at trying to claim that magic win number 10, which would guarantee them at least a .500 record, which would in turn guarantee them a spot in the state tournament. So be sure to stay tuned for Friday's game and plenty more games. Subscribing to the channel can help. And thank you to all those who brought the good vibes in the live chat today. If there's anything you'd like to say after this live stream is concluded, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Also, be sure to go down below to the description section of this video to check out some helpful links. There's a link where you can donate to the At Bat for Brookline Booster Club if you'd like to support Brookline High baseball financially. There's also a link and phone number to our local charity spotlight, the Brookline Education Foundation. And there's also some links relating to me, which you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen, my personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can just send me an email with any questions or requests you may have. And remember to follow me on Instagram, where I post highlights from previous live streams and also post the links for upcoming live streams. And now let's recap the action from today. Top of the first, Brookline got right on the board. Keenan Sawada and Elias Brendel both reached on some ground balls in the infield, which, I'm going to have to go back and see how they were scored. But then it was Avery Melton who hit a hard grounder that went through the third baseman's legs. Might have been a single, might have been an E5. Either way, brought in Sawada and Brendel to give Brookline a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the first, Newton North was put down in order by Nico Hart in what was the start of something we didn't even know how special it was going to be. Top of the second, Brookline got one runner on but couldn't advance him. Bottom of the second, Newton North down in order again. Top of the third, Brookline also down in order. Bottom of the third, Newton North down in order yet again. Top of the fourth, Brookline got one runner to second, but couldn't advance him any further. Bottom of the fourth, Newton North finally broke the perfect game for Nico Hart as Tom Basia got a walk, but he was caught stealing, and Newton North couldn't put any other runners on in the fourth inning. Top of the fifth, Brookline got back-to-back one-out singles, putting runners at first and second with one down, but could not advance them, in part thanks to a nice catch out and right by Adi Arian. In the bottom of the fifth, Newton North started to get some runners on as Arian got a leadoff hit by pitch and then a two-out walk from Owen Levine after a very impressive battle of several foul balls, put runners at first and second, but then Hart picked off Arian at second to end the fifth. Top of the sixth, then Brookline finally found the scoreboard again. A one-out single, as I called it. I'll double-check it again, but Hugh Bollinger got on first, stole second, though he really didn't need to steal second as Charlie Engelman launched a shot over the left field fence for a two-run home run to double up Brookline's lead at 4-0. In the bottom of the sixth, things got a little shaky for Hart as he gave up two hit-by pitches, one to the leadoff hitter and one with two outs. So for the second inning in a row, there was a leadoff free pass and a two-out free pass but this time he was able to get a strikeout to escape the jam. In the top of the 7th, Brookline added one more run. Keenan Sawada led off with a walk, advanced second on a wild pitch, and then scored on a hit-and-run play as Harrison Siegel got an RBI single. Did get throw out, trying to stretch the play out to second. And while Brookline got another batter all the way down to second, no further, and their final tally was 5 runs. In the bottom of the 7th, Nico Hart put the Tigers down in order, thanks in part to a great catch on a hard liner by Keenan Sawada for the second out on what looked like it was going to be the hit that would end the no-hitter, but it wasn't. And Nico Hart got the job done in no small part thanks to the defense behind him. And that's another thing that really has to be talked about. This defense had such a bad time on Monday against Wellesley, not just pitching-wise, but especially fielding-wise, a number of fielding errors for Brookline. And today, even despite the bad weather, they were sharp as anything in helping their teammate secure the no-hitter. Well, that's going to do it for this live stream. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Newton North High School in Newton, Massachusetts. The final score, Brookline 5, Newton North 0. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.